go now to Fox News contributor, Outkick host Tommy Lahren, Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Pam, we'll start with your legal knowledge first and your take on the developments tonight.
Yeah, you know, Sean, having gone to law school, of course, and reading our Constitution, it starts with we the people. And that's what's been shredded tonight, our Constitution. And, you know, when I communicated with President Trump earlier, I told him we all stand with him. And we have to, because our country right now is broken. And we are going to become an open wound for other countries to exploit and take advantage of as a result of this. And as you said, this is about a document case, documents that he had the right to have. And never, I don't think in any of our lifetime, Sean, have we ever seen something like this. He is a former president. He is a candidate to be the next president of the United States. And his opponent in this race has charged him with a federal crime. This is a very dark day for our country. And we, the people, need to stand with Donald Trump tonight.
Let me get your take, Tommy.
Yeah, I think like many Americans, I'm watching this tonight and I'm thinking, I don't recognize my country, and that is a very unsettling feeling. But for those out there that were wondering how Joe Biden, who can't even stand on his own 2 feet, was going to get away with a re-election without debating, without really campaigning, well, here's your answer. He's going to weaponize the justice system, or the injustice system, as it seems more accurately as of late, to go against his top political rival. And the average American is sitting here and they're watching this and they're feeling hopeless and they're feeling helpless. What could we possibly do to correct this, to fix this problem, especially when there's no coincidence here? This week, we were finally getting information about the Biden crime family. The House Oversight was finally getting there, finally ready to put that nail in the coffin. And then all of a sudden, they go after Donald J. Trump again. November 2016, that's when this vendetta against Donald Trump started, and they've been trying everything that they possibly could to get this man. It has all failed, and now this is their final attempt, maybe more to come. But the American people stand with Donald Trump, and it shouldn't be a Democrat versus Republican thing. The American people should stand with true justice and stand behind our former president.
Pete, you can't overstate the fact that we're in the middle of a presidential primary season. You can't overstate the fact that this is Biden's Department of Justice. You can't overstate the fact that we're in the middle of investigations into whether the FBI is politicized and the DOJ is weaponized. You can't overstate the fact we had James Comer on talking about the very thing Tommy mentioned, and we seem on the precipice of breaking down and finding out a lot more about Joe Biden's lies, that he had no knowledge or conversations with Hunter or any family member about foreign business deals. That lie has been debunked, and a lot of information has been coming out, and we seem on the precipice of getting to that point. But the question is, how will most Americans see this in the middle of now what is the beginning of an election season?
They're going to see it as they're going after Trump, but if they can get Trump, it means they can get you, they can get me, they can get all of us. He is standing in the way, and that can sound like a campaign slogan, but it's very true. So he disrupted everything they were up to, and they know a second term of Trump is the overturning of the table, the exposing of everything they've done. Sean, you know, I was on your program the night that Alvin Bragg brought the indictment as well. And I remember saying, and I'll say it again, I mean, this is a terrible night for our Republic and our Constitution and our justice system. But as it pertains to the Republican primary, Republicans will rally around Donald Trump. I think every single Republican nominee should be down in Miami on Tuesday night, standing for justice in the country, saying, hey, I may be running for president. Mike Pence, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, whoever, Ron DeSantis, but this is injustice. This should not stand. Now, I don't think they have a chance now, considering what Trump is up against. This will only strengthen him. But it's not about Trump. It's about our system. And he's been willing to expose it. They've targeted him. And this will only serve to rally voters behind him, Sean, in the Republican nominee process, because they realize what's at stake. Everything Mark Levin laid out, everything Greg Jarrett laid out, everything all the lawyers laid out beautifully is the fragile nature of our republic. And Donald Trump has said, I will expose it, I will take it on, I will take the arrows. And they're sending the entire weight of the federal government against him. And if they can do that, they can do it to all of us. That's what's at stake. And that's why I think it makes him stronger as a nominee.
Well, let's get Pam's take on that. Does this make him a stronger candidate, Pam? We saw his poll numbers rise when the raid at Mar-a-Lago happened. The same thing when the New York incident happened. Does this strengthen his hand? Does this just, especially in light of the Durham report and how devastating it was and how it exposed the media lies for 3 years? It exposed the Adam Schiffs of the world and their lies for 3 years and said this never should have been open. They talked directly about a double standard in the treatment of Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump in that year. And now here we go again. How, in the minds of, I got to imagine this begins to collectively come together that they want this guy, politically speaking, out of the picture. They want him done. You believe politically it strengthens him or hurts him?
Absolutely, it strengthens him, Sean. And how many years have we been talking about this? How many years has Donald Trump been fighting against the corrupt federal government? And he will continue to fight, and they know that. And, as a former prosecutor, these federal trials take a very, very long time to go to trial. They're going to do, I believe, everything in their power to try to tie his hands, to get him to trial prior to the election, and they're not going to be able to do that legally. If they do, it's a dark, dark day again for our justice system. But look at the civil case they did. Look at everything that's happened in New York. And this isn't going to be the last of it, I don't think, Sean. They're going to continue to attack him from all angles, from the back, from the front, every way they can. But it is not going to work. And his poll numbers are going to rise. But I believe he believes more than anything this is a dark day for America, what they're doing to him. And as Pete said, if they can do this to him, they can do this to anyone, and he will fight like no other human being because he loves our country.
Tommy, does this strengthen his political hand?
It does within the Republican Party, but Sean, I have the same concern that I've had for months now. If Republicans don't message this correctly, this will be lost on independents and even some Democrats that are maybe not happy with Joe Biden, but are unsure if they would vote for Donald Trump again. So it's incumbent upon us to explain to the American people, all of them, why this is so important. Whether they like Donald Trump or they dislike Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. They need to understand the gravity of the situation. I would also say to the Democrats and to Joe Biden specifically, what are you so afraid of? Why are you so afraid to take on this man in a fair fight head to head? Why do you have to do all these shenanigans, pull all this cocky-mamie BS because you won't confront the man head on? What are you so afraid of? You are cowards. Take on the man fair and square and let the American people decide.
Well, that's pretty powerful. Pete, you get the last word tonight. You have two strong opinions to top. Go ahead.
Hey, Bleach Bit, Hammers, emails, Burisma, Hunter. If the problem is how do we tell the story, remind people what's been done. And by the way, your life's worse off and the world is in chaos because Donald Trump is not at the helm and you hand it over to Joe Biden. So the contrast, this will strengthen them in the Republican primary, no doubt. And then you make the case in the general, and they're afraid of that. They are mortified of 4 years of what a Trump, who's not a political novice now, would do to expose what they've been up to.
All right, we appreciate it. Pete, thank you. Tommy, thank you. Pam, good to see you as well. Thank you.